Slack and E Major welcome you to the My Type of Hype podcast, where we celebrate hip-hop, not just the hype.
How y'all feel out there?
Oh, yeah. Welcome back, everybody, to the My Type of Hype podcast. Thank you as always for rocking with us. Your boy Slack in the building and my co-host extraordinaire on my left. What's going on, my brother?
Yes. We're here. E Major, My Type of Hype podcast that celebrates hip hop and not just the hype. In case you're wondering why he was laughing when you came on, press record and we're sitting there ready to start, and I hadn't pressed record yet. I'm still waking up. But Slack, what you saying, bro? You good?
Yeah, man, can't complain, bro. That's good. I mean, all
nice.
Good. So, what's the topic of discussion for today?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one, man. You know what? I was thinking about just albums recently, man, and I was thinking about albums like Thriller, Michael Jackson's Thriller. You know, the monster of the album is the track Thriller. You think about his Bad, the track Bad. You think about Prince, Sign of the Times, Purple Rain. Who else? Marvin Gaye, Let's Get It On, or Curtis Mayfield, Superfly, bloody Madonna, Like a Virgin. You know what I mean? You think about these big albums. And sometimes the important track of the album is the actual title track of the album. So it just got me thinking, man, about hip hop and how important is the title track and how significant are the title tracks on the albums, man. So we thought we'd chop it up today with some of our favorites. And I'm saying some of our favorites, not the best, because, you know what I mean, it's all subjective, but some of our favorite hip hop album title tracks. Just to make it more palatable, what we're going to do is break it up, throw some out from the 80s each, throw some out from the 90s, some out from the noughties and beyond. So yeah, it's just like that, bro. Thought we'd do that, man. I haven't really seen no one speak about that kind of thing before.
Sounds good to me, bro. Sounds good to me. Yeah. So you want to start off with the 80s, I'm guessing?
Yeah, let's kick off with the 80s, man.
I like the idea because I think the title track, yeah, thinking about it, now you break it down like that. When I was younger, you're right. The big tune was More Time, the album title. So when we started going back and forth about it, I was like, I don't know how many I could actually come up with. But when I started actually thinking about it, I was like, there's way more than I actually thought. Yeah.
Very true.
But then what I noticed as well is a lot of them is like the intros. So the album title might be, so like Busta Rhymes, just as an example out there, the album Genesis.
Yeah.
Like there's a bit at the beginning with the Genesis and all that kind of shit. Like a lot of the times those album titles, it's like the start of the album, but it's not like the title track. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was good to actually try and find the songs rather than just the intros or the outros or something like that. So yeah, it was good.
You know what, bro? Before you start, actually, I should have said this before, but before you start, as we said, there's way more than we even realize. So maybe we should be really strict with it, and it has to have the exact name as the album. Exact
deviation.
Album name.
And I've got to tell you that as Mr. Honorable Mention.
You already know a whole bag's worth here, bro. Don't worry, man. Don't worry. I'm like the Tupac of the podcast, man. Like, you know what I mean? He had songs to keep him going for years after he died. That's like me, bro. Like each topic, I got like 50 songs. I can do the podcast for another hour after, bro. I don't know why, man. I just get excited and don't stop. But yeah, man. All right, you kick us off.
All right, cool. So are you going for the 80s first of all?
Yeah, let's kick off with the 80s, man.
All right, cool. So straight away, without any like messing about, I could go for Paid in Full, but I'm gonna go for Don't Sweat the Technique because I absolutely love that song. Rakim was just on a different level them times, man, and it just makes me think of just my uncle just playing that song over and over again. Like that drum pattern is in my head. That's just like the start of my hip hop journey right there. So just thinking about that immediately, one of my favorite hip hop songs of all time.
Yeah, man.
Obviously an incredible album as well. And even listening to it like today in 2024 and thinking, this man was rhyming like this back then. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it really puts it in perspective what this dude was doing back in the 80s, bro. And he's dropping an album soon as well, I believe. He's dropping
bro. He's
So that's
producing it all.
gonna be really interesting to see what he's doing in 2024. But yeah, I think that's a good way to start it off, man.
Yeah, man. He's producing it as well, ain't he? Reckon?
I believe so. Yeah. Because although Eric B was there, I don't think Eric B did much production. Like Eric B was more, he was more the muscle guy. Or,
yeah,
like,
exactly.
He was doing a lot of stuff with like the labels and getting deals signed and all that kind of stuff. But I don't think he was doing much when it came to music. I think he could DJ, but I don't think he was producing and making beats and stuff like that. I could be wrong, but that's what I've always been led to believe, that he wasn't really like a producer like that. But Rakim was doing beats as well as rhymes. So yeah.
Yeah, man. You learn something new every day, man. I only found that out recently when he was on the King Cook what's it called, podcast, and he was saying he done about 80% of the catalog's production, man. So yeah, interesting, man. It led to a discussion I was having with my sister about a lot of these groups, you know, Tribe, Mobb Deep, early days, Eric B and Rakim, you know, this EPMD, this produced by the group, but yeah. Do you know what I mean? So but yeah, good shout, man. When you said Eric B and Rakim, I was thinking follow the leader at first. Obviously paid the full, but yeah, that's a very good shout, man. Well, I just mentioned them, man. I'm gonna go straight into EPMD, Strictly Business, man. You know, they celebrated the album anniversary earlier last week, I think it was, recently anyway. Incredible album, man. But like, there's nothing better than when, and obviously doing this podcast, doing this episode, putting up tracks in that. Some of the title tracks are in the middle of the album, some are at the end. But man, when you just press play on that, and then that song comes in, and it's just, you know what I mean? It's a 5 micro single, man. So yeah, I really want to go at EPMD. Anyone who knows me knows I'm a big EPMD fan anyway. So there's a few choices there, but yeah, had to. One of the first ones that come to mind from the 80s.
Yeah, man, definitely.
Strictly Business.
It was a pleasure to meet P&D. I wish Eric was there too, but I've met him before, just before the pandemic, actually. He did a show in London, got to meet him. He was really cool, actually. But then I got to meet PMD as well, because he was doing like a mini tour celebrating like the 35th anniversary of the album. 35th anniversary of their second album. It wasn't Strictly Business. But yeah, super dope, man. Just really down to earth dude, and he performed like all their songs, and he still had more in the can that he could have dropped as well. So yeah, very important album for hip hop.
Definitely, man. Legendary, man. Important group, man. Just, you know, they're never mentioned enough. Even if there is mentioned loads, they're never mentioned enough, in my opinion, man. Incredible.
Do you know what's sad about that? I think it ain't until one of them or both of them pass that people will understand what their impact was on hip hop. Because, like you say, like, I don't think you could talk about their impact enough, because it wasn't just them that was great. It was everything that came, that they brought after. Das Effects, Redman, Hit Squad, and then that influence on everybody else that was influenced by them. So when you speak to a load of other rappers, and they're like, yeah, like EPMD was a massive influence on me. So it wasn't just the fact that they was making dope music, it was the fact that they was influencing so much. Yeah, man, just incredible group. And they were so young as well. Like when they was doing this, like they made people want to make their own beats. They made people want to rap. They made people want to wear the bucket hats, and they wanted to be fly with the gold rope chains and the Mercedes and all of that shit, man. Yeah, they had it. They had it on lock, man, for real. Yeah, one of my favorite groups of all time, 100%.
100, man, no doubt, definitely.
Nah, that's a great shot, bro, for real. All right, cool. I'm gonna go for Criminal Minded, because that whole album was just just a massive influence on me from a very young age. I wish there were albums like that for my kids, you know what I mean, that they could. So although, like, you know, they grew up around me playing that kind of music, it doesn't have the same impact because it's so far removed from when they were growing up. You know what I mean? So I wish that there was something kind of in their age range that was similar, but I honestly can't think of anything like that had that impression. Just the stuff that they was talking about, the way that they made the music, like the way KRS was, and he was quite young as well when he was making these albums. So he sounded like he was well ahead of his time. And that's a song I think I tweeted the other day about songs that are just like timeless, like a song that will never die or never get old. And that is one of them. Like, how many lines from that song have been repeated in other songs in some kind of way, whether it be in the hook or something. Yeah, man. And it just makes me think of being in around New York and stuff. And then when I was like young, like really young, certain songs, when it plays, it makes me just picture certain places where I was when I was hearing these things. And that's one of them, man. So yeah. One of my favorite songs of all time, yet again.
Yeah, man. Crazy, yeah, man. And he was homeless already when he was recording that, living on a train or something. That's insane, man. It's insane. But yeah, no. It's heavily sampled as well, like vocally and that as well. Rightly so. But yeah, even I think recently I was just listening to I Got Next again, and I'm just thinking Keras One's catalogue. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, there's a lot of misses, I ain't gonna lie. When I say misses, I mean maybe just the potential's there.
He's done a lot. Like
he's done a lot. You're allowed to.
Yeah.
Definitely. But man, like obviously we know the BDP records, definitely. But then his solo ones, those runs, like, so when you're counting those and then the initial sort of 3 solos as well. Right. He's got a strong catalogue, definitely. It's a good shout. Criminal Minded, All right, what have I got on the list? Man, I got to go with NWA, man, straight out of Compton.
That was my next one.
I got to go with that, bro. I mean, it don't even need a whole big spiel over it, man. It was a monster. Do you know what I'm saying? Even to this day, like the moment it starts, it's just, as soon as the intro comes in, I don't even mean like Cube. I just mean just like the very beginning of the song. As soon as it starts, you just know, man, this is like one of the most iconic hip hop songs of all time. And I think it always will be. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. To the point where my kids know it so well. I remember, I'll never forget the first time. Obviously, the kids, they'll hear certain things. But then obviously, how can I put it? You'd have like your family favorite films and that you're watching. So one of the family favorites in my house with the kids, I mean, would be like, "Are we there yet? Are we done yet?" Do you know what I mean? A lot of people diss those films, but I love those films because I remember us and the kids just watching it, laughing. Do you know what I mean? So I remember when they saw the Straight Outta Compton video, and it was like, "Is that a guy from Are We Done Yet?" I was laughing. So that's my cute read though. You know what I'm saying? So man, when you think about that and just the monster that the whole album was, but that single, man, put Compton. I don't know if I want to say put Compton on the map, but you know what I'm saying? It was them that you was really hearing Compton, NWA, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, monster song, straight out of Compton.
When you think of everything, again, similar to EPMD, if you think of everything that came from that album, so we've had you got Dr. Dre, Eazy-E. So out of Eazy-E, you got what? Bone Thugs and Harmony. From Dre, you've got Snoop and everything else that came from that. Ren, his solo albums afterwards and stuff. So from that one album, and like you said, the song starts off like a bomb. Like before Ice Cube even comes in, it's just chaos. But it's organized chaos. But it's like it's in your face. And then for his first few lines, boom, like straight out of Compton. A crazy mother effer named Ice Cube. Just like, we don't have songs like this anymore. We just don't. And especially as an intro song to them. This isn't like a song down the line. This is the first time you hear them. Yeah, man. Just an incredible way to start your career in hip hop, man. Blew the doors off. Literally, like, blew the doors off.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
and
agreed, man.
When they were saying we didn't expect this album to do anything. Like, we were just making music because of the situation that we was in, but we never expected it to be what it was. Do you know what I mean? So they weren't aiming for the charts. They weren't aiming for nothing. That's why they were so raw, because they were like, no one's gonna buy this. Man. That's the shit that I love, man. We don't have that no more.
Exactly. Organic mix, man.
All right, I'm gonna go for LL Cool J Radio.
Yes, yeah.
Actually, LL gets disrespected a lot. I joke on LL a lot because I joke about everything. So, that's just my personality. But I don't buy into the disrespect for LL I
Agreed.
just take the piss because he made a lot of girly records and he does a lot of
Yeah.
crazy shit. But LL is one of the greatest rappers of all time.
Come on,
And
man.
no one can
course.
take that away from him. What he did in
course.
hip hop, who he is to this day. If there's people that have clocked the game in hip hop, it's him, Ice Cube, Will Smith, and a few others who have done it in hip hop, made their mark, made classic albums, gone on to dominate movies and everything else that they've done, TV shows and all of that kind of stuff after. Like, there's nothing left for them to do. And it's still about now. Will Smith's last movie is still breaking records. Ice Cube is doing Big 3, still doing movie production. LL dropping another album this year. He's been like, these guys, what can you really say? From the 80s to now, is if you'd asked them in the 80s, do you think you'll still be around in 2024, still relevant? They'll probably be like, boy, that's like 40 years in the future. Who knows?
Yeah.
But they're still here, bro. Like, all three of them are still here. And there's probably more that I'm not even thinking of right now.
Yeah,
Snoop done it as well, but he was slightly later, but he's done it. Dre's still around. Like, we got to put more respect on these guys, man. Like, that is incredible when you think about what they've done. And LL, like, with that first song, I just remember playing it all the time.
Yeah, man.
And it was just around, like, everywhere. Just family members, cookouts, everything. It's just one of those songs, man. Again, blew the doors off. And he was what, 16 or something when he made that record? 15, 16? Yeah, incredible, man. So yeah, that one is big tune for me.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. And a lot of people, they, you know, like you said, a lot of people take the piss out and all that, but they have other people that they'll hold up as legends and icons that ain't done all of what LL's done. Do you know what I mean? And it's like, and the longevity, man. I mean, you could be around for ages and drop subpar albums, but LL Cool J is another guy, man. He's got multiple classics. Do you know what I mean? As you spoke about on our last episode, and just like you said, man, TV and everything, he holds it down, man, and he's still an important figure. Do you know what I'm saying? Even with his whole Rock the Bells thing and everything now, like there's no doubt, man. He's legendary status, man. I think he's got a couple that could have been in there. So yeah, man, he's done it a couple times, man.
I'm gonna say,
all right, my last one.
Sure.
Yeah, that's what I had in my mind. Exactly. That's what I had in my mind. Yeah. There's a couple. I'm gonna just take one more. My last one for the 80s. I'm gonna go to The Message, man. Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5. The Message. One of the most important songs in hip hop, man. Timeless. If we're really keeping it all the way real, man, some music from the 80s hip hop, I mean, that sounds dated now. You listen to it, do you know what I mean? It sounds dated, the rapping sounds dated, there's no doubt about it, but we respect it because of what it was, isn't it? You know, it was the blueprint. It was, you know what I'm saying?
Sign of the times.
Yeah, exactly. Do you know what I'm saying? And The Message, does it sound dated? Of course it does. We know that, the rapping and everything, but there's still something about it, bro, that's just so fresh. Like, even it's a long ass song, bro, but like, even when it's on, like, I always want to hear it, man. Do you know what I mean? It's one of the first songs I said to the kids, I listen to this, you know what I mean? There's a time when you're trying to, like, you know, bring more hip hop to their ears, and they're like, you know, this is an important song. The message, you know, what they're saying, what they're talking about, the beat as well. I know Ice Cube used it as well, but the beat is so iconic, man. I just think it's an incredible song. One of the most important songs in hip hop. One of my favorite as well. Even though it's really dated, I still think when you listen to the MCs, they're all going hard, man. They're all rapping. And I think it's an incredible song, man. So definitely one of the greatest album title tracks in hip hop, man.
Yeah, definitely, man. And I think I don't think it's just one of the most important songs in hip hop. I think it's in any genre, because I think there are people outside of hip-hop that were like, "What is this? Like, what the hell is this?" And it brought more eyes to what was going on in hip hop. And I think when Melly Mel was talking about it, and he was like, when we made the song, it was just for us to, you know, talk about our environment and stuff like that. And he was like, it just had so many people like looking at us and doing. But when you think, like you said, the beat, like the production was fire. What he was rapping about and the way that he rapped, like ahead of its time, like definitely ahead of its time. Yeah, one of those songs that I think definitely transcends like hip hop. Like you could play that anywhere, any setting to this day.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure what year that song came out.
Was it? I think it might have been like 83, man. Like proper early, like 82, 83.
I'm not even
Like
sure,
proper
but
early.
it must have been around there because it was before, like, yeah, because I think radio was like 85, I think.
Yeah, 85, yeah.
That
I
would have been
think it was like
before
82, 83, you know, bro. As early as that.
So if you think about that as well, bro, you know what I mean? With regard to the
That's what I
time that
mean.
they released it, just it
That's
magnifies it even more. Yeah, incredible song. And Melly's made a career out of that because he did. I can't really think of much after that he did that was as big or as popular or whatever. But he could eat off that song for the rest of his life, easy.
100%, man.
Yeah,
100%. It could be sampled forever. It would never sound old.
Exactly. Sampled, copied, interpolated, everything forever. That beat alone, whoever that beat alone. Get it. All right, cool. So 90s.
Yeah, man. Any you just want to throw out for the 80s? We won't talk about it, but any that you had on the list that we ain't mentioned.
Critical Beatdown, Paid in Full, Follow the Leader.
Yeah.
So pretty much all Eric B. Rakim, all of that just fire. Like let's just get that out there straight away.
100%.
Yeah, man, definitely. Yeah, those are the ones I had for the 80s.
I think I more or less had the same. I had Called You Rap, DJ Polo, Road to the Riches. Yeah. Big Daddy Kane, Long Live the Kane, Run DMC, Raising Hell, Ice-T, Original Gangster as well. But 90s. Yeah, other than that.
Original Gangster was 90s, huh? Original Gangster was 90s.
Ain't that 88?
Nah, it's
93.
No.
I'm thinking of
Power.
I'm thinking of Power. Power was 80. Yeah, my bad. Yeah, well spotted. Sorry. I'm thinking of Power. Yeah.
Yeah, Original Gangster was 93-ish.
That's like 91, isn't it? Something like that. 91, 92. Yeah.
I remember buying it in must have been like late 92, early 93, around that time.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. I'm thinking of Power. Power was 88, isn't it? Yeah. All right, yeah, man. So more or less similar one. So we're going to the 90s, and I'm just laughing.
Big up to the 80s because the 80s doesn't get and the only reason I don't talk more about the 80s is because it wasn't my decade in that sense, because I was too young to really appreciate it until the 90s. That's when I was really going back into the 80s, listening to Slick Rick and De La Soul and all of that stuff. So I enjoy listening to people talk about the 80s more than I enjoy talking about it, because I can only talk about the very end of it, like the 80, 88, 89. I was still like, I was a kid. So I wasn't getting the vibes that my uncles and all my older cousins and all that shit that was getting, because they were living through it. Do you know what I mean? So it's like when I'm living through the 90s and people that are born in the 2000s don't understand why the 90s are so revered, but that's the sweet spot, because we had the 80s and the people that were rhyming in the 90s were influenced by these dudes. So that's what made them elevate the game. That's what it is. So like I wish I was around a little bit earlier, so I could have really been like the same age as LL Cool J or something and really like enjoying that kind of vibe around the times, man. But yeah, I think definitely like can't put enough respect on the 80s, man, because we wouldn't be here without it. You know what I mean? We wouldn't be here without it.
Man. And let's keep it real as well, man. Like as much as we can say, because like you said, you know, we're the same age, and in the 90s we went back to a lot of the stuff from the earlier mid 80s and towards the end of the 80s. And even though we appreciate its greatness, let's keep it real, man. Most of the time, unless you was there and living it, it's not going to have that same impact. You see what I'm saying? That's all it was. So we appreciate and recognize its greatness. And I guess that's why I mentioned Run DMC on our last episode, because it was almost like I recognized their greatness, but I wasn't there at that time. So I'm never going to have the full appreciation like I'm going to have for a Wu or a Mobb Deep or someone like that, like I'm going to have for them. So I didn't live it. I went back to it, but I didn't live it. So yeah, man, but definitely, man, that's the foundation right there. Definitely.
Yeah, 100%, man. All right then. So straight into the 90s,
yeah. Our time.
The killer decade. All right, there I got a shit ton for the 90s, bro.
Whole band.
But I'm gonna start with the most obvious one. £50 if you can guess my first one.
Uh, I'm gonna say you say most obvious.
Most obvious. Well, definitely one of the most obvious title tracks for a 90s song.
Biggie, Ready to Die.
Nah.
Ooh.
93 till Infinity, bro. One of the
Yeah.
greatest. One of the
Bro,
greatest.
I beg you, bro. People ain't gonna believe me, you know. You might not even believe me. I swear, bro. When you said that, I think it's gonna be Souls of Mischief. Then I thought, I know how much you love Biggie Ready to Die. Let me say that, but I was gonna say that. Bro. I'm actually gonna say that.
That close to bonus.
I was actually gonna say that, man. But yeah, agreed.
Man, like, yeah, just one of my favorite songs ever in life. I think that is a perfect song.
Perfect.
I want to know what that studio session was like when they were making that beat, because that beat is it's incredible. Like I can't put any other words on it. Everything about that song, the beat, the raps, the way that they go back and forth, the video, like everything about that song is just 10 out of 10. I can't speak highly enough of that song. It's one of my greatest songs ever in life.
Yeah.
And I can play that song anywhere. Could play it in the winter, the summer, the spring, whatever. Any setting, the car, the house, wherever. That song will hit every single time. And I remember like years ago, can't remember where I was, but it was playing and there was this girl like doing this, like rapping along to it. And I was like, it's like everybody we got talking and all that shit just based off of that song. And yeah, it's just one of those, man. Just one of those tunes, just for any setting, perfect record. The album was great as well. So it wasn't just the fact that, you know, sometimes you get a title track.
Yeah.
Like that's the only good song on the album. But the fact that the album was good on top of that, and all four of them are dope. Yeah, man. What more can I say about that song? Like, man. Nothing more needs to be said, man. Just one of the dopest songs ever.
It's incredible, man. I remember probably about a year or two ago, my daughter, she's probably about 20 at the time, and she sent me the song. She said, "You know what? I think this is my favorite song at the moment." And you got to look at that, man. She's 20 years old. Like the song's older than her. Do you know what I'm saying? And she said, "I think this is my favorite song at the moment." Do you know what I mean? So that's a testament to the greatness of the song, man. It's timeless. I know we use that word a lot as music fans, but timeless. Yeah, man. It's incredible, man. Incredible.
And the way that they just pass the mic to each other, it's just seamless. Like seamless. Everything about that song, the hook, everything.
I couldn't agree more, man. Yeah, that's mad. I wish I said it. I was literally going to say it. You know,
I told you it was obvious, bro. Always go with your gut, man.
No. I'm going to go with one. I mean, it's a popular song, but I'll say a bit more obscure because I don't really hear it or the artist mentioned much. But one of my all-time favorite songs, bro, Drew Down, Can You Feel Me? Listen, man, you know how much I love that. I cannot tell you. When I dropped to 96, I must have taped it off of MTV Raps or something, bro. I had it on VHS before I owned the CD or anything. The amount of times I used to pull back that video, and I just thought, like, I didn't know Drew Down's music before that. I know he's got maybe 2 albums before that. I didn't know none of that music. That was my introduction to Drew Down, was Can You Feel Me? And then obviously, you know, he's on, you know, Tupac, Loonies, whatever. But that was my introduction. And I just thought, man, this guy, like, he just seemed like the coolest dude. Like, who else could be rocking the goatee, the cardigan, bro? And I'm like, how is this guy getting away with that look? He was dancing and everything. But listen, man, that song was one of the songs of the summer for me, man. Like, to this day, I mean, I love that whole album, but to this day, that song is one of, like, it's 5 mics for me, that song. I absolutely love it. So yeah, that was one of the first ones that came to mind for me, man. Drew Down, Can You Feel Me? I literally love everything about it.
Yeah, like Drew Down style, man. I loved it because he was so unapologetically him. like you said, with the perm and the fucking what was the tracksuits and shit that he like the velour tracksuits and shit that he was wearing. But it was cool. Like if you some people like they just make shit cool without even trying. Do you know what I mean? He was one of them dudes like, all right, you're doing whatever over there. I'm gonna do this and it's gonna be fly regardless.
Very true, man.
It was his voice, it was the stuff he was saying, and the way that he flows over beats as well. I really liked. I don't think he gets enough props, to be honest. I think he's related to Bootsy Collins. I swear I heard that
he is. That's his dad, I think, no?
Oh, is it something like that? I don't know, but yeah, I know he's related. I was like, okay, I see it now. I get it.
You did, yeah. He was in a Baby Bubba video as well.
I was like, yeah,
Bootsy Collins. Yeah, I think that's his dad. I think, if I remember rightly, some close link like that, dad or uncle or something. But
yeah, I thought it was there, like something around there. But yeah, amazing. Okay, that's a dope shout, man. For my next one, I'm gonna go for Funkified by the Brat.
Yes, bro. Yes.
So I remember the first time I saw the video for that song, and I was like, "Who's this rat face guy? That JD guy from like Criss Cross and that shit?" And then the version I heard was obviously on the TV, so it was clean, right? The clean version. So obviously, absolutely loved it. Rinsed it back and forward. Then one day I walked into Just for the Beat, and the album was sitting right there, and I was like, oh. And I saw a massive, like one of the biggest parental advisory stickers on any album I'd ever seen in my life. But she came across as so sweet, braids and all this shit in the video, like a little sweetie pie. So I never for 1 second was prepared for when I saw the size of that parental advisory on the front cover. And I thought, oh, okay, interesting. And there was only like 9 songs on the debut album. It was a short album, really short.
It is.
So I thought, okay, cool, no problem. Took it home. This girl's cussing from right to left, talking about how much weed she smokes and all this. And I was like, wow, I wasn't expecting this. And then the dirty version of Funkified, I actually prefer the clean version of Funkified.
Yeah.
The dirty version, I was like, you didn't need to say all that. Like, it was fine. That's the clean version. But still, regardless, that's just one of those songs that you just know the words front to back to front. It's one of them songs you can play anywhere. The beat is perfect. The video is perfect. It takes you right back to the 70s with what they're doing in that video. The back and forth with her and JD, like it's a perfect introduction song. The best song on the album by far, and I really liked the album, to be honest with you. I thought
same.
So yeah, pretty much a perfect self-titled song on the album, man.
I'm with you, man. The Brat, I was a fan immediately, bro.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think it's beautiful, man. I always thought she was beautiful. That's why when people was like, oh, I didn't know Brat was rocking. Like, you could see, bro. Like, it don't matter how her hair was or what she's wearing. You can see that's a beautiful.
Everyone said that the Brat was fine from day one. I don't know why people are pretending. Like, you can't look at that video and be like, oh, nah, no, she was fine from day one.
Exactly, man.
I don't care if she's lesbian, all that shit. No, I don't think anyone really thought that she was all the way straight anyway. Just the way that she carried herself. Like, when she came out, no one was shocked from our era. Some people were like, oh, I never expected that.
Exactly.
I think a lot of us were like, okay, this is quite obvious what's going on. But phenomenal. And I don't think she gets the props she does, but I think
she don't, bro. She don't.
But I think there's a reason for that. Like, she stopped rapping in, like, I think her last album was very early 2000s. There's probably been like 20 years. I think she released a mixtape when she got out of jail. Because she went jail for a while, didn't she? So I know her career musically was cut short, but I liked Another Tantrum as well. Another Tantrum was a good album.
I love that album. I think it's better than
great. Like, she could really fucking rap, bro. Like, really go 100%. In when she raps. Yeah. So I've always had time for the Brat. Like, I think she's dope, man. And that song, absolute classic, bro. Absolute classic.
Yeah.
So
I couldn't agree more, man. I have receipts on the timeline, man, where I'm bigging up the Brat. Do you know what I mean? I think she's incredible, man. But I think her best 2 albums are her first 2.
First two,
and
yeah.
I don't think they were like hip hop classics to be mentioned all the time, so she gets forgotten. But if I was doing the list of favorite female MCs, she'd be in my top 5. I think she's incredible, man.
She's dope.
Yeah,
And
I
she's
think
one of the
incredible.
only female rappers that I can think of that was hanging with Biggie, no problem. On
Yeah,
that
Biggie
B-side
really
as
liked
well,
her, bro. Yeah,
Biggie was a fan, bro.
Biggie really liked her. Yeah, man. And I'm sure she was like, I may be completely wrong, but I'm sure she was like the first female to go platinum, innit? First female solo
Yeah, she
rapper to
was.
go platinum.
She was, yeah.
Yeah, so like she should not that it's about sales, but I'm just saying for you to go platinum, obviously people are checking
In
for
the
you, so
early
she should be
90s,
mentioned more.
that was a feat. In the early 90s, for her to go platinum,
Come on, bro. That's what I'm saying.
that was a thing, because she never had like massive marketing pushes or nothing like that. But the song Funkified, and then she made the funk be with ya. That was her second song, and then she did the
Give It To You.
Give It To You. Now that wasn't the version that's on the album. Biggie was in. There was bare cameos in that video. Everyone was in that video.
Yeah,
But it wasn't the version that was on the album. But I think that song made people go, "Wow, like, I need to go out and check this." So yeah, brilliantly done, man. Really well. So yeah.
Yeah, man. That's a good shout. Props to Brat, man. Definitely. I'm gonna go, bro, with so many to choose from. Damn.
There's so many.
I'm gonna go crazy. I've got to go at Mobb Deep. Reason I'm gonna go at Mobb Deep is there's so many others I could have picked, but I'm gonna go at Mobb Deep, Hell on Earth. Reason being, and I cheated there. I know it's cool. There you go. I know it's called Hell on Earth Frontlines, but I think it's close enough. I'm gonna go at Hell on Earth because Mobb Deep, my second favorite hip hop group of all time, and Hell on Earth is my favorite Mobb Deep album. I know it's become trendy and it's become cool to say that now. Like a lot more people are saying it now, but bro, it's been my favorite Mobb Deep album from it dropped. You know what I'm saying? After a bit of time. And I know, bro, I weren't hearing hardly anyone say. Everyone was like infamous. But now it seems like it's become more commonly known for people to say that. But I can honestly say, man, Hell on Earth is my favorite Mobb Deep album. And that song, I don't even like to use words like perfect because it gets diluted if you use it too much, but it's perfect, bro. Like the beat is incredible. Like I just love it, man. It's funny, so I was having a discussion with my missus the other day about Dr. Dre's Sam Snead. I think you better recognize. It's such just a looped beat. Like there's no kind of variation or anything, but it's incredible. Like it should be boring, but it's not. You know, there's some tracks where you just don't need to do
absolutely crazy. Do you know what's
that?
insane about you saying that? The other day I was driving and that song came on, and I thought the exact same thing as you just said. I was like,
mad, isn't it?
I was like, this beat should be terrible because it's just a loop. There's no variation at all.
Right.
But it's fire.
Trust me, bro. The amount of freestyles for that
crazy.
Beat.
That's mad that you said that.
Trust me, this was like 2-3 days ago, bro. Like I was, trust me, driving with the missus and it came on and he's having that discussion, and we just both saying how sick the beat is. But it's the same with like my point is that some songs you don't need you just got it, bro. You don't need to do nothing. Less is more. Don't mess with it. Yep. That's Hell on Earth for me, man. Just let that run. That was one of those beats that the amount of freestyles you used to just kick to that beat, bro. Like, yeah, Hell on Earth, man, freestyle. Hell on Earth instrumental song, and Prodigy, both of them. I'm a strong advocate for Havoc as an MC. Strong advocate for Havoc as an MC. He gets overlooked because he's such a dope producer, and Prodigy so dope on the mic. He gets overlooked, but both of them. But Prodigy on that last verse as well. Left Earth, man. Perfect song, man. Trust me, perfect song. I love it.
I remember vividly. I had a basketball hoop on the back of my door when I was around that age when the album dropped, and I used to be on the other end of my room, and I used to have that little spalding ball, and I was always like practicing. And I just had that song on repeat. So every time I think of that song, it reminds me of that in my bedroom on the other side of my room, throwing it at the hoop and try to get swishes. Like I wasn't happy if it hit the rim and went in or hit the backboard. And that was my motivational song. That was my song that if that song came on And I was like, yeah, I'm getting the swishes today. And I just remember that day vividly. Repeat. I love that song to death. Like that is one of my favorite rap songs. And
definitely,
I don't think Prodigy rapped better in his life than on that song. That's my favorite version of Prodigy. Like he went crazy on that song.
Mm-hmm.
As you said, Havoc as well. But yeah, Prodigy was special on that song. Just incredible. That is hip hop to me, man. I can't think of a time like later on down the line we've had like Jay-Z's and this and that. But that period right there, 95, 96.
Yeah. My 2 favorite years, bro. My 2 favorite years for hip hop. Back to back.
Back to back. Craziness. Infamous and Hell on Earth back to back.
Yeah.
I don't think people and the fact that Hell on Earth doesn't sound like Infamous, I don't think people understand like how crazy it was for Havoc to do Infamous, although Q-Tip did a lot of whatever to massage it, make it what we hear today. Hell on Earth was dirty, bro. It was from the dirt. Like it was perfect, man. I don't think
such a fitting title as well, bro. Like fitting album. Yeah.
Just incredible. Yeah, just incredible. I can't speak highly enough of that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I love it, bro. And obviously, we know what Infamous is. It's a 5 mic hip hop classic. But there's just something about when I put in, man. I remember the smell of the CD, bro. Like I remember when I first put in that Hell on Earth, man. It's just an incredible album, man. And then just to start it off saying, you know, we got to do it again. We got to do,
but better.
I'd have to give that another spin after this, bro. Trust me.
Yeah, 100% agree with that, man. All right, cool. Shit. I got to choose between 2 right now, and they're both absolutely crazy songs. All right, I'm gonna go. I want to try and steer away from the super obvious ones, so I'm gonna go for "Living Proof" by Group Home.
Yeah. I had that down.
So
very good.
The first time I heard that song, that's another song that is just basically a very simple loop, but the beat is crazy. It's the bass line, the drums, like everything is just insane. And they're not the greatest rappers, but that song is crazy.
to put it for
like, do you know how good that beat has to be to make very average rappers sound as good as they did on that song? Like everything Primo did on that song was 10 out of 10. I can't play that song enough. If you play that song now, I can't ever cut it off halfway through. The more time, I'll have to hear it and then run it back again. I can't hear it once. It has to be at least twice because it is that good. And the album itself, like production, again, Primo between like 92 when he did like Dwick and he started working on Hard to Earn and they did Daily Operation, all the way through to Moment of Truth, which would have been 98. That period there, Primo was unfuckwittable, easy.
Yeah, couldn't agree more.
The beats that he was making, and he was doing full albums, bro. Like he wasn't doing just here and there. You know what I mean? He was doing full albums, top to bottom.
Yeah.
And that's why I say he's the greatest of all time, because like a lot of producers, they do maybe a bit of an album, like a few songs here and there, move on to the next one. But he was doing Gangstar albums, then he was doing a group home album, then he was doing a J Root album.
MOP, majority of MOP albums, like man, I couldn't agree more. Man.
Like giving Nas like the biggest new Biggie, giving the biggest, greatest New York rappers some of their greatest songs. Like, I can't speak. What more can I say? But everyone knows he's my favorite of all time. But that song, I can't speak highly enough for that song right there, man. It's just something else.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more, bro. I used to have a little bee in my bonnet about that album, if I'm honest with you, because it used to annoy me how much props it used to get, because I just thought, man, like, it sounds disrespectful now, but I literally felt like, Primo, man, this is some of your best work, man. Like, man. These guys, man.
I knew you were going to say that.
But, but it is what it is. It's an incredible album. There's no doubt about it. But yeah, I'm with you, man. Okay, I'm going to go with Keith Murray, The Most Beautifulest Things. Bro, never mentioned enough. Keith Murray on a whole isn't mentioned enough. For my liking, anyway. I think those first two albums are very good. I love Most Beautiful Things, but that track, man, as soon as it comes in, man, hear that little bit scratching, then it kicks in, and even the way he kicks off his verse, man, I just love it, man. But yeah, incredible. When Keith Murray dropped, man, I mean, I know he was on the EP43 album, and you know, but when Keith Murray came out and dropped this single, I thought this guy's incredible, man. Like,
yeah, for real.
There's you know what I mean, there's a use of big words, but I just felt like we hadn't seen anything like him. Like, he looked so average, and by that I mean, you got Buster, who's animated with the dreads and everything like that. You had he looked like you could just walk down the street and see him. Jeans, fade haircut like everyone had. He just looked so average. You know what I mean?
Right. No gimmicks. And even his stage name,
no
name. There was no stage name.
Right. Nothing. It was just so average. But it's like, this is whoa. Yeah, love Keith Murray, man. But yeah, incredible song. Still love it to this day. It's one of those ones that once it comes on, I always think to myself, man, love this. You know what I mean? So definitely.
That beat by Eric Sermon is perfection. Absolutely perfection.
So much heat on that. So much heat on that.
Man. Yeah, I had that one down too. For time's sake, because we've got to do the 2000s, I'll just do my honorable mention. So I had The Natural by Mike Geronimo. I had Gravity by the Bush Babies. I had ELE by Busta Rhymes.
Yep.
Creep With Me by LL Scratch.
Oh, man.
Me Against the World, Tupac. And the last one I'm going to throw out as my honorable mention is Bow Down, West Side Connection.
Yes. Definitely. How can I not have that down? That's insane. You know, bro, have that down.
How can you not have that down?
That's insane, bro. That song, bro, that's insane, bro. That's a hard album. Yeah,
it's over.
They all kill it, man. And you know what I love about that as well? When you really look at that track, I don't know, it might be like 4 minutes long or whatever, but all three of their verses, because Cube comes in straight away, all three of their verses are done by like halfway the song. So the beat's just running at the end. And it's just incredible, man. I mean, that album for me is very underrated, a personal classic for me. But that's probably got to be my favorite song.
That is a classic album. Forget personal.
Yeah, man. Let's say it. Let's say it.
It's a classic.
Very good shout. I'm actually severely disappointed in myself. And what's mad. What's mad is that a lot of the ones you mentioned weren't even on my list, so that shows you how many. But once again, for time's sake, I throw mine out. I had All Eyes on Me down. Locks, Money, Power, and Respect. Another song that never
gonna put that down, but fuck Puffy. So next.
But yeah, I love that though. I love that song, man. On It, Shut 'Em Down. And if you want to go with the original or the remix, that's cool. Another one of my favorites. Outcast, 80 Aliens. Exhibit, At the Speed of Life. Underrated song, underrated album. That song is hard. De La Soul, Stakes is High. Razcat, Assassination. MLP, Firing Squad. One Just For You. I know you'll appreciate this. AZ, Do or Die. I actually love that.
I didn't like that song at all. I thought that song was whack, bro. I didn't like it. Didn't like it at all.
That might be our biggest disagreement, man, in hip hop is AZ. I know it's probably Fat Joe, isn't it? He's the old Fat Joe. But definitely, yeah, definitely Fat Joe. One last one is OGC, Empire Strikes Back. I love that, bro. Like, seriously, I love that album.
That album is really good. The album is really, really underrated.
I actually prefer it to the Storm.
Yeah,
I prefer it, bro. Like, it never gets mentioned. I think it's an incredible album. I love it, but
yeah.
So then,
Outcast the Criminal.
Yeah, man.
Outcast the Criminal. Fire.
What did I say? Oh, I said 80 Aliens. Yes,
which is another good shout, but
Criminal, man.
Criminal
love that one.
Incredible song. Okay. All amazing shouts, bro. All right, so we'll slide nicely into the 2000s. We've got about about 10 minutes. I think we can wrap it up. All right then. So again, I try to stay away from the brutally obvious picks. So I try and find something that's a little bit kind of different. But I have to go with would I say it's an obvious one? I don't know. Maybe you'll be like, I wasn't expecting that. But I'm gonna say Jay-Z Blueprint 2 as my first one because
wow, yeah,
I think
bro.
The album itself, too long, too bloated. There was a lot of shit on there that I wasn't feeling. But that song right there, after everything that was going on with him and Nas and all of that, that song right there doesn't get enough respect as a diss track.
Bro, thank you. Everyone's talking about the takeover too much, but that song,
the last verse,
bro,
Jay-Z was cooking.
Bro, there's so much chorals in that, man. I love that, bro. That whole bit when he was like, and your little homie Jungle is a garden to me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a legend. You should take a picture with me. Like, bro, that song's hard. And that sample, yeah,
I prefer that song. I'll listen to that song over Ether any day of the week.
Oh, yeah. I agree, bro. Musically,
I think Ether gets highly and horribly overrated.
I couldn't agree more.
Because of the time it came out and all of that, I get it. But when you listen to it back now, even then, I didn't like the beat.
Yeah,
I'm a huge Nas fan. Always have been. Yeah. I was a Nas fan before a lot of these guys online talk about it. I was a Nas fan from the first time I saw what was the single, the Michael Jackson sample. I always forget the name of it, man.
Oh, It Ain't Hard to Tell.
Right. So the first time I saw that, or even halftime was, and then that song, and then I bought the album the day it came out. So no one can tell me shit. I was there when Illmatic came out, and in the UK, it wasn't what it was in New York. It just wasn't. But if you knew, you knew, and I knew. So no one's gonna tell me shit about Nas. But Ether is not one of my favorite diss tracks. I don't care what anybody tells me.
Come on, I agree.
I don't think it is. But Blueprint 2, I thought that tune was crazy, and for it to be the title of the album as well. I think that was
that's a brilliant shout. That's a brilliant shout. I didn't even put that on my list because I must admit, once again, everyone knows how I feel about Jay, but I feel like that album, like you rightly said, is mad bloated. But you take 5-6 songs off of that, strip that down.
He did that would have been. Remember, he brought out Blueprint 2.1.
He did, but I feel like the damage was done.
Yeah.
If we just dropped that in the beginning,
if he just dropped that, it would have been. Yeah. And
there was still a couple songs on Blueprint 2 that should have been 2.1 that should have been left off as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But so yeah, sometimes I don't think about that album much, but there's a lot of heat on that album, man. But yeah, I've said it before, man. Musically, Takeover is way better than Ether. And Blueprint 2, I think, might even be better than Takeover at times. So that's a brilliant shout, bro. I'm with you there. And yeah, sometimes I don't like to say too much about Jay and Nas because I've had people say, "Oh, you don't like Nas." Yeah, it's like you, bro. Like, do you know what I mean? I remember the first time, I know Main Source and things like that, but the first time I thought, right, who's this dude? Was MC Search, Back to the Grid again. Exactly. And Nas came out, and I'm like, this guy's incredible. Like, I've been on the journey from day one. Like you said, I've had arguments over friends over missing Illmatic tapes. You know what I mean? So, like you rightly said, bro, I was there from the beginning. Do you know what I mean?
From the very beginning.
Bro. So I appreciate Nas and everything he is. But yeah, I'm with you, man. That's a great shout. That's a very good shout. I'm gonna follow your example and try and stay away from the obvious. I'm gonna mix this into one. I'm gonna go with Dilated Peoples and Evidence. Dilated Peoples, the platform, hard. Alchemist, just some of Alchemist's best work is with Dilated and Evidence, man.
Bro, you keep telling me that, and I still just haven't got around to it. I still haven't just put that shit on. I'm gonna do it today. That's my mission for.
And you know what it is? Because I was thinking about it, like, and I'm not one of these guys. I don't like to gas people up because they listen to it and you're like, oh, what was all the hype about? But that's what I love about Dilated Peoples and Evidence's catalog. I feel like they just fly under the radar. And when you listen to it, you're just like, right, this is actually sick. Like, there's no razzmatazz about it, so you
Mm.
never really expect anything great. But when you put it in, like for example, if I listen to any Dilated People's album, let's just say for argument's sake, there's 15 tracks on the album. I'm gonna love 12 to 13 of those songs. I'm gonna love 12 to 13 of them songs. You see what I'm saying? But they're not singles, they're not released, they're not spoken about, but they're just hard, consistent, solid songs. Same with Evidence's catalog, bro. Like his Weatherman, Cats and Dogs,
I like Evidence.
Whether or Not, sorry, yeah, man. Like I think the production's incredible. They're not, let's keep it real, they're not like amazing MCs.
It's just solid. It's one of them.
It's just solid, bro.
I'll do like a football analogy. So you've got certain players who you can rely on every single game.
Right.
Give you an 8 out of 10 performance every time. Like you're never gonna be like, he was poor today. Like even if we don't win, he still played well. He did his job.
Right.
So it might be one of them kind of groups where they haven't got the razzmatazz and shit, but they're just solid. They're just solid from top to bottom. But I've just I never liked their name, and for some unknown reason, I don't know why, but I always get them mixed up with Jurassic 5. I don't know why that is.
Okay, no, I hear that.
I always used to get them two confused, and I never got into either of them, Jurassic 5 or Dilated People. I just never checked for them, and there's no bias because I like Evidence, but there's no reason why I haven't. I just haven't. So I need to get into that. Yeah, so I will do that today. I'll get into
it. I think they're one of the few groups that I'd say you can be sure that the album's going to be solid. That's just it. Like you said, it's just you can just be sure that it's going to be a decent album. That's
the maddest thing. I've got all their albums, bro. I've got the Platform, and what's the one that came out after that?
Expansion Team.
Whatever they're called, I've got them. That's the worst part. I've got them in my possession. I've just never played them. I think some of them might still be the rappers. Like I've never opened them. But
they got a lot, bro. I think it's like 4 or 5. Yeah, Platform, Expansion Team, 2020, Neighborhood Watch, and
definitely
Directors of Photography.
All
hard. All hard.
I want to get to them.
So yeah, man. Yeah, let me know what you think. But yeah, so I say Dilated People's the Platform, and Evidence, Whether or Not. That beat for Whether or Not, yeah, man, it's a monster, bro. Like, I love it. But trust me, but yeah, they're my ones. My first kickoff one. What you got for the noughties and beyond?
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna go for. I really don't like this dude. No, actually, fuck that. I'm gonna go for something way out of field that you would definitely wouldn't be expecting. Double Barrel by Torre and Marco Polo.
Yeah.
That beat right there.
Good shout.
That beat is disgusting, and I don't think Marco Polo gets enough props for his beats, man. He just doesn't.
Nah, right.
And the stuff he's doing Master Ace right now, he should definitely be getting the props, but I still don't see him mentioned like he is. So even the albums he's done, like the Port Authority albums that he's done on his own, the stuff he's done with Ace, that he's done with Torre. Come on, bro. Like this guy he's very serious with it. So
I agree.
Marco Polo, super nice dude. I got to meet him recently as well. But yeah, big tune. So if you haven't heard it, the album is Double Barrel by Torre and Marco Polo. Torre himself has a fire discography, like really good. So if you haven't got into him, get into him as well. But that song alone, Double Barrel, if you haven't heard it, trust me right now, go listen to it.
Definitely.
Yeah,
that's a good shout, man. That's a good shout. Yeah, you're right. I think that Master Ace and Polo might still be album of the year for me.
It's up there, bro. 100%. And we've had quality albums this year, bro. So far,
this year's been a solid year, bro.
Yeah, it's been really good. The Dog Pound album,
it's been a solid year.
Absolutely loving that Dog Pound album right now.
That's what I mean. It's been a solid year, man.
Yeah, really impressed so far this year.
But yeah, I was looking over what's dropped, and I think I'll probably go back to the Ace the most. That's why I might have it as my album of the year. But there's been
Ace,
a lot of heat,
Marcy, Rhapsody, Dog Pound. Like, there's been old albums, man. Yeah, definitely.
It's been a decent year, man. Okay, I'm going to fly through these for time's sake. I'll just throw them out as honorable mentions. There's a few. coming back to our side of the waters, Skepta, Konnichiwa. That album dropped in 2016, 15,
I never listened to that. I was never a fan,
bro.
if I'm honest.
I'm not the huge. I mean, I should have mentioned them on last week's episode actually about respecting them and that. But that whole movement, boy, better know. Like the respect for what they've done. They're almost like
100%.
you know what I mean? Like, obviously,
100%.
and we've spoken about them before. I know you got respect there. But I know what you mean. But that Konnichiwa album, it dropped and I listened to it, and I ain't gonna lie, it was in my car for weeks. I thought this is actually hard. It's a short album, 12 songs, every track. And then shout out to SK. We went to the Skepta concert in Coco, I think it was, and he just performed the Konnichiwa album. And everyone who's featured on it, he brought out for the songs, apart from Pharrell, I think. But like, and he just done every song in order of the album. So it's just like you're listening to the output, bro.
Right.
I can honestly, hand on heart, say, and as you know, we've been to a lot of concerts. That was probably one of the best concerts I've been to, bro. Like, I felt like Skepta was foaming at the mouth at one point, bro. It's like he was just turning into a monster, bro. It was insane. The energy was bro. And Konnichiwa was pulled back like 3 times, bro. It was insane. And it's the first song on the album, and I just think it's a hard track. I actually love that track. So yeah, sorry.
I think I skipped through it, and then I was like, all right, I'm good. And then I never went back to it. But yeah, I might need to spin the block on that one.
Skepta, Konnichiwa. Definitely the best song on the album for me, and it just kicks it off. I just love it. Suede, UK again. Suede, this is my demo. Hard. Freddie Gibbs, Pinata, that posse cut, bro. Mad posse cut. And that beat, insane, bro. Nipsey Hussle, Victory Lap. Game Documentary 2. I know you're not a Game fan. I wouldn't really say I'm a Game fan either, but I think he's a guy that you can pick out some quality albums from his catalogue. A lot of them are, but he's got a good 3 or 4. I think
I can't knock him. I can't knock him for that. He does have some good quality projects, and he's got a lot of stuff. Like not even just albums, like mixtapes as well. He's got a ton of
exactly. He's got a lot. He's got a lot, man. But that Documentary 2, maybe I'm biased because it's primo.
I actually enjoyed that album. I thought that album was good.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so that title track's hard. Benny and Conway, Pirates Picasso. We've spoken about this album a lot. Gangstar, the owners. Everyone knows how much I love that album. The title track for me, perfect. Last one I'll throw out, Busta Rhymes. Oh, did you mention this? Genesis. You said Genesis, didn't you?
Yeah, but we were talking about something earlier.
I'll just use
it as an example of yeah.
I love that track. But yeah, I'll throw them out for the noughties and beyond, bro. What you got to wrap us up for?
So for me to wrap, I have for the 2000s, I've got God Don't Make Mistakes by Conway. I think that's an incredible tune. Just basically talk about that night he got shot and then the way it ends. I thought that was really dope.
I need to go back to it, bro. I just feel like I don't remember that album.
That's the one. That the one where his mum's like, please don't take my son, and then you hear like the ventilator. So he's talking about the night he got shot. He's like, I shouldn't have gone out that night because it was foggy and I had a bitch. I should have gone back to her house. But instead I really want to go back to it. Yeah, it's a dope song.
We reviewed it as well, didn't we? So I know I was looking into it.
But you know what? I was going back through Conway's catalogue recently, because initially when we reviewed it, I was disappointed because there was so much hype. But from around track 5, it doesn't miss. It's the first bit. I'm not a fan, but after that, really good. Doctor's Advocate by Game. So although there's people I don't like, I can still give props where props are due. So don't get twisted. If I'm talking shit about your favorite rapper, there's probably some shit that I like by them, but I just don't like how they put themselves across. Like Game, I ain't got no time for whatever he does, like all that foolish shit he does. But when he's good, he's good. You know what I mean? And that song, although I thought it was a bit weird, like he was on Dr. Dre's nuts way too hard, like calling your album The Doctor's Advocate, and then he's drunk and talking to, like, it was weird, but it's an incredible song. So I'm gonna leave it there. Just Trying to Live by Devin. I'm pretty sure that was just after the 2000s. If not, it's on the cusp, but I believe it was 2000. but that's an incredible song.
I don't think I know it, bro.
Woo!
I don't think I know it.
Incredible song. Just Try to Live by Devin. If you haven't heard it, get to it.
Okay.
No
Yeah, I'll
Dope
put
on
it down.
Sundays by Sci-Hi. That is
Sorry, say that again.
No Dope on Sundays by Sci-Hi.
Oh yeah. Yeah, man.
Incredible song. Music by Eric Sermon. That's a pretty obvious one.
Good shout.
The Listening by Little Brother. Again,
Yes.
Incredible song. And that's it for me for the 2000s.
Yeah, man.
And there could have been probably way more, but once you get a list of 30 odd, then that's it.
I'm done. 100%.
But yeah, I really enjoyed that episode. And if there's any that we missed, then please, as always, feel free to drop it below in the comments. Thank you for rocking with us as always on the episodes, and we'll be back with some more in the coming weeks. So from me, your boy Slack in the building, and my co-host extraordinaire on my left.
Yes. E Major, we're here, man. Appreciate you tapping in. Gonna keep hitting you with these episodes, man. Hope you're enjoying them. Feel free to comment, share, like, all of that good stuff, man. Word of mouth's a powerful thing, man. So if you know people that like hip hop, and you just want to help promote the podcast, do that, man. We appreciate all of what's been done so far, man. So yes, My Type of Hype, the podcast that celebrates hip hop and not just the hype. We're not about the gossiping. We're not about all that, bro. We're just here to promote this beautiful thing that we love, man. So yes, tap in and we'll be with you again. Until then, man, stay blessed. Keep it hype, man. Peace.
That's it, man. Until next time.